All right. Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday. I hope you're all having a great start to the weekend. Ayan, masayang-masaya tayo today. But first, I'll first introduce myself. I am Jan Angelo. You might know me from my YouTube channel where I passionately talk about skincare, and skincare. Pero for today, guys, I'm actually with Oxecure and Watsons for the first ever episode of Oxecure Skincare Saturdays. So ang episode natin for today, guys, is entitled What is Sensitive Skin? So we'll actually be defining in this live what it means to have sensitive skin, as well as yung mga causes, yung mga triggers, and tips on how you can manage it. But guys, I am not going to be doing this alone. They're actually experts to help me do this. I'm here today with Dr. Gaile Robredo-Vitas. She's a board-certified dermatologist at Derm HQ and Boutique MD, as well as fellow content creator on Instagram and YouTube, where she gives you expert advice on your skin. And on the other hand, we have Dr. Cristal Laquindanum-Tan. She's a pediatrician, child advocate, and health educator. So she shares her tips and advice on how to best care for your babies on Instagram and on Twitter through the account at Millennialpedia. So again, hello, Dr. Gaile and Dr. Crystal. It's so nice to have you here. We made it through the difficulties.
Hello again.
Hello.
I hope you guys are
Okay.
with us.
Yes, ayan. Okay, so for everyone watching today, I'm super excited because later, all of you will be able to learn about Oxecure's first ever product for sensitive skin. So it's the Oxecure PH 5.5 Gentle Cleanser. As you can see, meron ako dito. And as you can also see, may konti siyang residue because ginagamit ko talaga tong product na to, guys. As a skincare enthusiast, I've actually been a fan of Oxecure since last year, 2020, when they launched here in the Philippines. As in, lagi kong ginagamit yung Acne Clear Powder Mud nila. As in, ito, may proof ako. Empty talaga. Because it's such a savior for my acne-prone skin. Like, one of my favorite spot treatments. So, more about Oxecure. Oxecure is actually really consistent with in coming out with products to help us address our skin problems. Lalo na we have specific skin problems here in the Philippines. So, it started with mga anti-acne products because sobrang common yun. But a lot of you guys actually reached out to Oxecure and said na, hey, we have another common concern, which is sensitive skin. So, for those of you who mentioned it to Oxecure, this new product launch is for you. And speaking of sensitive skin, if you have any questions about your own sensitive skin issues, feel free to comment them down below. Pa-answer sila ni Dr. Gaile and Dr. Crystal. Also, I hope you guys can also tune in until the end of this live. Kasi guys, we will be having a giveaway. So we will be giving out the Oxecure PH 5.5 Gentle Cleanser to 3 winners. 3 winners, guys. Plus, meron pang good news. For everyone who's going to watch until the end, Oxecure will be giving a voucher code that you can use sa watsons.com.ph and at all Watsons stores para mabili nyo tong cleanser na to at a discount. So make sure you watch until the end so you can find out how to join. All right. So start na tayo sa Q&A natin. So Dr. Gaile and Dr. Crystal, for tonight's live, we're mostly gonna talk about sensitive skin. So I have some questions here prepared for you, pero sasagot din tayo ng mga questions na makukuha natin from the audience. So again, audience, remind ko lang kayo, if you guys have any questions about sensitive skin, comment nyo lang sila down below. So the more questions you ask, the bigger chances you'll get to win a 500 ml Oxecure PH 5.5 Gentle Cleanser at the end of our live. Okay, so Dr. Gaile, chinika ko na si Dr. Crystal kanina about how common yung sensitive skin is in her patients. But as our guest na dermatologist, I hope you can give us like a definition kung what exactly sensitive skin might be, may iba't ibang kinds ba siya, and what are the causes or the triggers to sensitive skin or sensitive skin issues?
Yan, sige. Thank you for that question. Sorry, medyo nagulo yung buhok ko sa nangyari kanina. But anyway, good morning, good afternoon na pala everyone. Sensitive skin is actually not a medical diagnosis, but because it's very common, especially in my practice, most of the people or patients who come to me, meron talaga silang underlying skin issues. And most of them have sensitive skin. So in a study done by a group of dermatologists, they were able to determine that sensitive skin or having sensitive skin is very prevalent. Sabi nila, it affects about 60 to 70% of women, or at least ganun kadami yung naka-experience na at least once in their lives. And then 50 to 60% of men. And yung definition nila na na-come up for sensitive skin is an occurrence of an unpleasant sensation. It can be burning, stinging, itching, smarting in response to a stimulus or stimuli that normally should not provide those sensations. So parang for example, tayong tatlo, di ba? Lahat tayo nag-apply ng certain product. Kayong dalawa, if you have normal skin, normal lang. But ako, if I have sensitive skin, I would experience any of those things that I mentioned earlier. And in some patients, their skin can actually appear normal and just slightly red. So sabi nila, the most common location of sensitive skin is on the face, but it can also occur in other parts of the body. So having sensitive skin is correlated with several factors. So una-una yung, I'm sure a lot of you who are skin enthusiasts, you've heard yung concept ng skin barrier. So one cause would be a defective skin barrier. Yung skin kasi natin is something that protects us against environmental, stimulus and irritants, and it also prevents yung paglabas ng tubig sa balat natin. Number two is yung thinness of your skin or stratum corneum. So naturally, the thinner the skin is, mas prone ka to allergies, irritants, and mas magiging sensitive ka. Number two is the environmental factor. So what you are exposed to. So for example, kung ikaw, you live in like temperate countries na laging malamig, tapos yung balat mo nadadry, or yung job mo entails exposure in, yung outdoor environment. So you can have sensitive skin. Another thing is yung sinasabing, it's a new concept actually. Not naman new, but it's fairly new to me. It's called the nocebo effect. So if you've heard of the placebo effect wherein kahit wala namang laman yung cream, feeling mo gumagaling ka, yung nocebo effect is the opposite. So parang meron ka ng preconceived notion na, naku, anything I put on my skin, magre-react ako. So may ganun din. And then finally, yung stress, of course. So stress, of course, is unquantifiable, but when you are stressed kasi your body releases a lot of things and nagkakaroon ng imbalance, and that can contribute to having sensitive skin. Now, having said that, all of these partially explains why most sensitivities occur on the face. Kasi nga, yung mga characteristics na minention ko, mas nangyayari yun sa areas with thin skin. Ayun, dami ko na sinabi dyan in Dr. Cristal.
Super informative, Doc, as in. So actually, sabi nga ni Dr. Gaile to those watching right now, ang daming factors talaga. And iba-iba siya. It can be from the environment, from stress, iba-ibang mga factors. And what I got from Dr. Gaile's explanation also was, ano siya, na mental block ako slight, pero it's some people can have normal skin, but other people, parang wala silang reaction to this certain type of ingredient or chemical, if that's the right term. And then, other people who have sensitive skin might have a different reaction naman. So, ganun yung sensitive skin. So, thank you for that, Dr. Gaile. But now I have a question to ask both Dr. Cristal and Dr. Gaile. So since Dr. Cristal is a pediatrician, she handles yun nga, more children, babies. So si Dr. Gaile naman more of adults. So my question is, sa mga age ranges of patients that you guys both handle, common ba yung mga ganitong mga skin barrier issues, mga sensitive skin issues in general? So if it is, siguro hopefully you can give us an example of what are the most common cases that you see in your patients. So let's start with naman ngayon with Dr. Cristal.
Okay, yan. Great question. I'm gone. Okay.
Ayan, okay. Bumalik. pero nawala ulit. Oh my God!
Hold on, nawawala? I'm
Slide.
back?
Ayan, yes. Perfect. Yes. Okay.
Okay. My gosh. Okay, talagang alam niyong live to, guys, sa mga nangyayari. Okay, so in my case, I'm a pediatrician. I see a lot of pediatric patients or kids, especially babies, with sensitive skin. So why is this so, diba? It's very common kasi doon sa mga factors na sinabi ni Dr. Gail kanina. One is, for the people with sensitive skin, parang thin yung part ng skin nila. So pag babies, especially for less than 1 year old, their skin are really more thin compared to adults. So talagang mas prone talaga ang babies to sensitive skin. And then we have also yung mga usual na common cases that I see, yung pinasasabi nga natin about skin barrier. So usually people with eczema or atopic dermatitis, yan, usually nagkaka-flare up sila because medyo nagkaka-problem with their skin barrier. And then, very common also mga irritant dermatitis, not because, di ba pag adult, usually ang mga irritants nila, mga new products, ganyan, over-exfoliating. For babies naman, usually nagiging very, very common ng irritants nila. You know, it's sweat, it's laway, it's sipon, okay? So, usually, pag nagkaka-diaper dermatitis yan, it's the poop, it's the wee-wee, so halo-halo na. And usually, yung mga areas na yan, yung mga nasa fold ng skin, yung mga neck, yung mga singit, ganyan, here sa inside ng elbows. So, yun yung mga usually common things that I see in the clinic.
I see. Okay. So, ang dami nga ring iba't ibang nuances when it comes to yung mga tinatawag nating irritant dermatitis, yung parang skin sensitivities and irritations in children. So, actually, oh my God, Dr. Crystal, ang ganda ng explanation yun because I had follow-up questions. Pero, ang ano na. So, there's so much nuances nga to, tatanong ko sana yung mga nuances, ano yung mga differences, and bakit sobrang common siya in your patients. Pero, ang galing, nasagot na siya. So, how about Dr. Gail? Maybe you can, ano to us also, enlighten us on the same things na parang in adults naman, na, bakit, anong mga common conditions and also ano yung mga nuances and differences when it comes to adult patients?
Naalala ko lang 'no, nung nagkukuwento si Doctor Crystal. Kasi ako, I had skin asthma or atopic dermatitis as a child, and unfortunately or fortunately napamana ko sa mga anak ko. So nung mini-mention niya yung mga diaper dermatitis, bumabalik lahat sa akin. And normally or usually, we get over it. Like ako, I'm lucky kasi ngayon hindi na ako ganon. But there are some who sort of carry it on until they're adults. So parang palagi silang sensitive, and meron naman na iba na parang may adult onset na, you know, sensitive skin or atopic dermatitis. But anyway, to answer your question, because I'm a dermatologist, a lot of my patients talaga na pupunta sa clinic ko, may mga skin issues talaga. Karamihan dyan, either irritant contact dermatitis, and we all know that one factor that can contribute to that is an impaired barrier, a skin barrier. So, apart from that, so sinasabi nila na if you have a history of atopic dermatitis, you're more prone. If you have, you know, yung conditions like rosacea, you're more prone. And then yung mga gumagamit ng mga harsh ingredients. So, I do have a certain subset of patients whom I think have normal skin. But because of everything that they put on their skin, parang nagulo na. Ayan, parang over-exfoliation, over-cleansing, using the wrong cleansers, using, you know, irritating products all over each other, parang ganon. So, the thing is, not all patients with sensitive skin, talagang may sensitive skin. Kumbaga sila is, ano man tawag doon, na trigger or acquired sensitive skin. So, I think that's an important thing to, in fact, to tell everyone na parang you can have, you know, normal skin, but because of your habits, your exposures, the products you put on your skin, pwede kang magkaroon ng sensitive skin.
I see. Okay. And actually, meron din akong follow-up question to this. Actually, for both Dr. Crystal and Dr. Gail. So, you've given us you've enlightened us on how common yung mga issues are in your own patients. Siguro ang matatanong ko na rin is, how would you actually know if you have a sensitive skin issues? If you have sensitive skin issues, like what are ways to check? Lalong-lalo na siguro for Dr. Crystal, 'di ba? Syempre ang pupunta sa clinic are the parents and kasama yung babies nila, and sila yung masasabi na may ganito kasi. And siguro there's a difference also because yung mga patients naman that go to Dr. Gail, sila yung nakakapag-verbalize. So, what are some signs? So, let's start again
Let's
with
start
Dr.
again
Crystal.
with Dr. Crystal.
Ayan. So, di ba kanina medyo na-mention din ni Doc Gail yung kung ano yung mga symptoms or signs of sensitive skin. Di ba? May mga burning, mga itching. Ang mahirap lang sa pedia patients, di ba? Especially if less than 1-year-old, they can't verbalize it, as you've said. So, usually, ang pinakaunang nanonotice talaga ng parents would be dry skin. Okay? Usually, parang may konting flakes, mga ganyan, flake skin. But, they notice it pag nasa bahay. Pero parang minsan hindi na nila napapansin. Kasi nga, parang dry skin lang. But usually, they go to me kapag medyo nag-red na, tapos medyo nag-weeping lesions na, minsan nagiging infected na. So usually, what I tell parents is, once we've dealt with the infection, kung meron man, or the inflammation, parang I let them touch yung part ng skin ng baby nila na yung parang normal, yung mas healthy skin. Usually, mga nasa thigh area yan, yung mga cute na mga thigh areas, mga arms. And then, yung mga parts na nagda-dry, usually mga cheek area talaga yan. So, I let them touch it so they know the feeling. So, ito yung dry skin, tapos ito yung normal skin. So, even before mapunta tayo sa redness, sa very dry, cracked skin, infected skin, they first have to take note kapag medyo may mga dry areas. Okay? And then, especially, take note of the areas na mas prone din to irritation. So, sabi ko kanina, diba, most common for babies kapag nag-feed pa sila, breastfeeding or bottle feeding, etong mga cute na skin folds, mga wala pa silang leeg, diba? So, ito yung nandito yung pawis, sa pupunta yung food or yung milk, and then, yun nga, pati sa mga singit, and then sa mga inside ng elbows ng skin ng babies. So, usually, take note of these areas, and before pa siya mag-red, yun talaga, parang give more attention to those areas. That's what I tell the patients.
All right. How about for Dr. Gail?
Well, natatawa lang ako kasi naalala ko yung kinikwento ni Dr. Crystal. Di ba yun yung sa mga babies yung parang may special scent? Yung parang masarap amuyin pero parang maasim. Yung areas na yun. Anyway, so ano nga yung question dyan? How do you know in adults, di ba? So,
Mga
compared
signs.
to the patients of Dr. Crystal, mas maswerte kami kasi our patients can verbalize. So, even before you ask anything, sabihin na, "Nako, Doc, alam mo ba, ganyan, pag nilalagay ko yung ganito, mas makate, masakit, mahapde." So, that's one advantage. The usual signs would be redness, itching, sometimes even burning sensation, o yung tinatawag na smarting. And more often than not, pag pupunta sila, medyo malala na and marami na silang sinubukan. So, sometimes, pagdating sa'yo, hindi mo na talaga alam kung ano yung original lesion kasi nag-try na sila, lalo na ngayon kasi they don't really want to go to doctors or hospitals yet because of the situation. So, before they go to you or they come to me, ang dami na nilang trinay. So, yun yung mga common signs and symptoms of those with sensitive skin.
I see. So, actually, kay Dr. Gail and kay Dr. Crystal, there's a common thing na notice ko. When it comes to patients na pumupunta na sa mga derms or sa pedia, especially specifically about skin issues, parang malala na siya, sort of, or parang nag-develop na siya slight. And I just wanted to, din siguro, parang bring up na rin, kasi, yun nga, as a skincare enthusiast, I watch a lot of content that involves doctors, dermatologists, and they always say na parang, why do dermatologists prefer mga gentle products, ganyan, or mga pediatrician, why do they prefer it for their kids? And I think it's because Doc, because you guys have seen siguro the worst of the worst, or parang lumala na talaga siya, and that's why we tend to be more with our parang you guys tend to be more careful about the approach. Ayun.
Oo,
So,
kasi, oo nga, agree ako dyan. Ay, sorry, masagot na ba ako? Na-excite?
No, no, go lang,
Baka
go
kasi
lang, Doc.
makalimutan ko eh. No, kasi totoo yan Kasi a lot of people, or hindi naman a lot, maybe some people kasi take advantage of your skin or not rather neglect. Parang akala mo kasi andyan lang siya di ba? Pero lalo na nung mga unang panahon, well, hindi ko alam sa inyong dalawa kasi hindi ko alam kung mas bata yata kayo sa akin. But nung time ko, parang hindi ka malinis kung hindi sobrang squeaky clean ng balat mo. Parang talagang, tsaka dapat sinuskoba ka talaga. Ganun na pagdaanan ko yun eh. And bilang merong skin asthma dati, na-imagine nyo rin yung scenario ng katawan ko before. So, they thought na kaya ka may eczema, kaya ka may sensitive skin kasi madumi ka. So, parang kailangan talaga malinis na malinis yung katawan mo. But, what we now understand is that the skin is a complex organ. So, it's not just like one layer of whatever. So, we have to remember na yung skin natin is our first line of defense. Like ko yung sinasabi, it's the biggest organ in the body. It's our first line of defense against everything outside of us. That's why the skin is very important. Now, anything you put on your skin, naglagay ka ng tubig dyan, di ba, nakapatong lang, di naman siya pumapasok, di ba? Because our skin, when it's intact and it's normal, is a very effective barrier. So, it doesn't let just anything inside. And as at the same time, it doesn't let anything outside. So, kung intact yung skin barrier mo, kumbaga sabihin natin yung defense ng body mo, okay siya. Kaya lang there are things that a lot of people do that compromise their skin barrier protection. Unang-una na yon and very important is cleansing. So, akala natin wala lang siya, di ba? Parang naglilinis naman ako ng mukha, I wash my face 5 times a day. But actually, when you do that, when you don't clean the right way, you end up compromising your skin barrier. So yun, I think, yung pinaka-important and one of the more important things that people have to know, cleansing should be done properly and using the right products.
Ayan, super agree and super thank you for that, for letting us know, na yung grammar ko na yung English ko. For letting us know that, Dr. Gail. Kasi parang ang dami nga talagang factors, especially cleansing when it comes to, lalo na kung sensitized or irritated nga yung skin, we have to be more mindful of how we cleanse the skin. But speaking of cleansing the skin, I do have a question for Dr. Cristal. I've heard about, when it comes to mga infants, yung frequency daw ng pag-cleanse or pagligo ng babies, parang may factor. Is there a factor to that and their skin sensitivities? Parang, do they get more irritated kapag mas often sila naliligo? Ganon.
Ayan, so tama yung narinig mo dyan. No? So actually, for kids, alam na nga natin na compromise na or mas thin yung kanilang skin compared to adults. And usually, kapag we put so many things din sa skin ni baby, sometimes, di ba, ang dami na ring irritants. Tapos, we use pa cleansers na medyo nag-compromise din ng skin pH. So, mas lalong na-irritate din. Okay, so, one of which then na mga usually nagagawa is kapag napapaliguan si baby ng everyday. Okay, so, tama yung narinig mo. So, dapat yung frequency din talaga, especially for less than 1-year-old, they don't really need to take a bath, as in full bath, every day. Siguro mga 2 to 3 times a week would be okay. Kasi, di ba, we want to prevent nga water loss, skin water loss. Okay? We want to protect that skin barrier. So, that's what we want to do. For those na above 1-year-old, syempre, mas malilikot na yan, mga toddlers, so yung mga kasamang irritants niya, talaga mga pawis na, mga food, debris, ganyan, di ba? So, but if they really need to take a bath, especially sa mga heavily soiled areas, we really prefer na using mild cleansers and yung mga dermatologically tested. So, dapat may approval din yan ni na Dr. Gaile, di ba? Yun yung mga doctors na kailangan talagang taking care of the skin. So, kailangan may approval din nila. So, we want to take note of these things. Okay? So, for newborns, yan, they don't need to take a bath every day. But if they really do, pwedeng sponge bath in between the 2 to 3 days a week. Tapos, pag more than 1-year-old na, tapos they need to take a bath every day, kahit mga 5 to 10 minutes lang, tapos lukewarm water. Okay? So, yun yung best. Tapos, don't try to rub too much to dry. So, parang pat dry lang. Okay? Pat dry with the soft towel will do. So, yan, in choosing a gentle cleanser, recommended yan na kailangan liquid, pH neutral, mildly acidic cleansers for infant cleansing. Tapos, we don't really want to disrupt the skin pH so much kasi nga it would promote the number of bacteria going in the skin and, it will increase the water loss for children sa skin nila. Okay?
Ayan. Actually, ang ganda ng nasabi ni Dr. Crystal about gentle cleansers because a lot of the a lot of the factors that Dr. Crystal mentioned actually are in this cleanser. Nalaka ako. So sabi nga ni Dr. Crystal, mildly acidic. So this is pH 5.5, which is a mildly acidic pH, dermatologically tested, which is nakalagay siya dito. And also yung mga ano pa ba sabi ni Dr. Crystal? Yun.
Yun.
Mostly yun, no?
Mostly yun, no?
Yung mga
Yeah, so
characteristics of it.
liquid, dapat liquid din. Not
Liquid.
really the soap ones na nakaka-dry. Diba sabi nga ni
Yes.
Doktora kanina, kasi nung time natin before, kailangan squeaky clean ka. So ayaw natin na ganun.
Yes.
Kailangan medyo supple skin pa, especially then for babies.
Yes, ayun. Oh, and isang keyword na naalala ko kay Dr. Crystal is to prevent water loss from the skin. And naalala ko lang din, yung itong cleanser does have, yung sabi lang, dual moisture lock technology. Vitamin E and glycerin to really hydrate the skin while cleansing. So, nakatuwa. But then I do have a question also, since we're already going to that part of gentle cleansers, being mindful of the right cleansers to use. Kasi ako skincare enthusiast ako, so I don't mind like looking at the ingredients kahit mga 1 hour ako nasa Watsons. Okay lang. But tumitingin lang ng mga ingredients ganon. But I did notice na kasi yung mga products na let's say yung mga regular cleansers, kahit mga face cleansers, 'di ba, that tend to that yung mga I think it's best call them regular. They're a bit stripping to the skin. And then yung mga gentle cleansers naman, they're so parang iba. Kasi pag naghilamos ka with them, parang sakto yung feeling, you don't feel stripped of your skin barrier. So I think it has something to do with ingredients siguro. So Dr. Gaile, do you have any insight as to siguro the differences of ingredient? Bakit ganon? Bakit magkaiba silang cleansers? Are there different cleansing agents that they use? And is one better over the or siguro what could be the advantages of using a gentle cleanser instead of yung mga stripping cleansers?
Very good question. Ang swerte ng mga tao ngayon kasi due to advancements in technology, parang alam na nila yung mga okay na gamitin na ingredients. But let's go back, na-obvious naman yung age ko sa mga tanong ni Jan. But anyway, let's go back to when we were young. Okay, when we were younger, yung ginagamit kasi na panglinis are called surfactants. So surfactants are very effective in removing oil, dirt, and debris, grease, ganyan, in everything, in your body, in clothes, when you wash them in your dishes, ganyan. So ito, parang they bind to oil, dirt, and grease. And then pag winash off mo siya with water, nadadala siya. The problem with surfactants, or the very strong ones, is that they cannot parang differentiate between oil, dirt, and debris from the oils that we have on our skin. So pag ginamit natin siya sa balat natin, di ba kaya feeling mo pagkatapos parang banat na banat, dry na dry, kasi pati yung mga essential fatty acids and oils on our skin natatanggal niya. And that for the next few minutes can sort of make your skin more sensitive to irritants and whatever is around you. Kaya lang ngayon nga, dahil mas naiintindihan na natin how skin works, there are gentler surfactants that are available in the market. So, for example, yan yung sodium lauryl sulfate, yung camidopropyl-betaine, yung mga ganon that you can find in ingredients. But kasi not everyone naman is so keen on, parang hindi sila kagaya natin na talagang chine-check yung ingredients. One thing that you can do is when you test the cleanser, pag parang banat na banat or dry na dry yung skin mo, then it means they contain the harsher surfactant. So that's good when you're cleaning your clothes, when you're washing your dishes, but definitely not when you're cleaning your skin. So yun yung mga ingredients na, yung mga harsher surfactants are the ones that are bad for your skin. And yung iba naman, kasi for example, like, Doc, paano talaga kung sobrang dumi ko? Halimbawa, nagumulong ako sa putik, ganyan, kailangan ko talaga matanggal. So a lot of these cleansers naman have additional moisturizing ingredients like the glycerin. Glycerin is one very effective, very popular emollient or a moisturizer that is usually added in cleansers para kung meron man natanggal, mare-replenish niya ulit. So those are the more important ingredients that I think are added in skincare products.
Ayan. Ang ganda ng na-mention din ni Dr. Gaile because she mentions cocamidopropyl betaine, which is actually also an ingredient in this cleanser. So tiningnan ko kasi I'm sure mayroong mga skincare junkies watching, yung ano nito kasi is main surfactants or cleansing agents are cocamidopropyl betaine and ammonium lauryl sulfate. So yun nga, sabi ni Dr. Gaile a while ago, ingredients such as sodium lauryl sulfate might be a bit more stripping to the skin, might make the skin a bit more dry. But ingredients such as sodium laureth sulfate, which is by the way, audience, magkaiba yon. So yung YL and yung ETH, magkaiba silang ano. Yung laureth is a bit gentler compared to laurel. So ayun, na ano ko lang ulit sa cleanser. But we actually do have a question relating to sensitive skin. Again, I think ano ulit to mas for Dr. Gaile kasi the question is it safe to apply products that contain active ingredients to people with sensitive skin? What active ingredients are sensitive skin friendly? So parang I don't think nag-a-apply tayo ng actives to children. No? Baka hindi pa safe sa kanila yun. So, sige, Dr. Gaile, can you enlighten us on safe ba siya kung gumamit ng actives for sensitive skin?
Well, ako, pag meron ako mga patients on sensitive skin, I mean, hindi kasi, I don't tell them na bawal kasi that's a very, harsh thing to tell them. But to exercise caution. Kasi alam naman natin yung mga ingredients na pwedeng maka-cause ng irritation, like your acids, your glycolic acid, your salicylic acids, and then yung mga retinoids, even vitamin C, your L-ascorbic acid. So all of them can be potentially irritating. Pero kasi hindi naman lahat. So it's not a blanket parang statement na parang, if you have sensitive skin, you can never use mga ganon. So lagi lang exercise caution. Kasi like I said, most naman have normal skin except that when they pile up these irritating ingredients, yun, nakakompromise yung barrier niya. And in those patients who usually complain of having sensitive skin, yun na nga, parang merong mali dun sa ginagawa nila. Either they're cleaning wrong or they're combining ingredients that, make their skin worse, parang ganon. So, yun lang, exercise caution, especially when you're trying out something new. And I always encourage, for those with sensitive skin, to do patch testing. So, try mo muna yung product either on your inner arm or yung behind the ear. Try it for a few days. And if you don't get a reaction, then it means it's okay to use.
Ayan. So, actually, ni-reminded tayo ni Dr. Gaile when it comes to patch testing the product. Which actually reminds me, Dr. Cristal, yung mga, I'm sure children and babies, they also have yung mga ganito. I'm sure since, just assuming na baka hindi pa as developed yung skin nila, so they might be more sensitive to some things. How do we exercise caution naman for, kasi di ba sinabi din ni Dr. Gaile kanina, how to exercise caution when it comes to products. So, kapag sa children naman, are there any nuances to that?
With regards to skin ingredients or sa mga ilalagay natin sa skin ni baby, 'di ba, yung pinaka composition talaga niya talagang medyo manipis pa yung skin barrier nila. So ang pinaka main goal mo talaga with or without atopic dermatitis is really to protect the skin barrier. Okay? Ang nuances siguro din sa children versus adult, either medyo takot yung parents to put something on the skin. Okay, so minsan sobrang pulang-pula na niya tapos hindi pa nilalagay kasi nga natatakot sila na whatever they put ma-absorb niyan. So either that or they put naman something na binigay na before. Okay, so minsan parang ginamot na pala siya for an inflammation tapos yun din yung nilagay mo dun sa same lesion. So usually ganun yung nuances kapag children and adults. And also yung difference din niya is kapag adult, syempre ang kausap mo lang is yung pasyente lang talaga, 'di ba? For children naman, ang ginagamot mo is not just the child but also all the caregivers, yung hindi lang yung parents, pati yung mga yaya, tita, lola, whoever is taking care of the baby. So parang hindi dapat kung magkakaintindihan kayo ng parents, dapat masasabi din niya yung same instructions, same ano, dun sa mag-aalaga kay baby. So usually yun yung mga nuances niya. Yun nga, with regards to the products, usually we really have to take care of the skin barrier, mga use gentle cleansers, tapos yun, don't wash too much ng sa skin kasi usually lalo na sa init ng panahon, 'di ba? Parents would really want for them their kids na paliguan every day. Pero if may mga ganong factors na medyo nakikita mo nagsisensitive skin na, so you have to take a step back and evaluate if kailangan ba talaga na baka mamaya pati yung skin barrier pala compromised na. So yun yung usually differences.
Ayun. So ang gandang insight nga na provide ni Dr. Crystal regarding the nuances, lalo na yung yung sa caregiver. Um naalala ko lang din, Doc, when it comes to patch testing, ano no, siguro that's also a factor, may mga nuances din kasi na-realize ko if an adult is patch testing, if something feels wrong, they know. Pero kapag sa child, they might not be able to verbalize it. And not only that, kung wala si parent, dapat manonotice din siya ni caregiver na parang, oh, yung skin, eto pala yung sensitive skin ni baby. So, ang dami nga niyang nuances.
True. Tapos, usually, sabi din na doktora, di ba, i-patch test mo muna siya sa inner arm. So, same din actually siya with children naman, with babies. So, usually, ba diba tinatanong is, pwede bang i-apply siya sa buong katawan, mga cleansers, ganyan. Usually, I tell them, especially if they change a product or they're trying a new product, don't buy the big bulk muna. Like, try the small ones, and then try it on the skin first, and then you can proceed to the face if okay naman, if walang sensitive skin issues na nakita.
Ayan. Actually, speaking of body parts, na curious lang ako. Kasi, meron na naman akong isang narinig na thing when it comes to using gentle cleansers in general for adults and for babies. Kasi nagtataka ako lagi. What I notice that people do is, yung pag babies, they use gentle cleanser for face and for body, all over na. And then paglaki, parang sort of well, ako kasi ganito yung experience ko, parang nag-graduate na ako, kumbaga sa gentle cleanser, sa at least sa, actually, yeah, at least sa katawan ko, and then I started using soap. So actually now I'm curious kasi there are products also like again itong gentle cleanser where they say na it's for face and for body. So my question to Dr. Crystal and to Dr. Gaile is um ano ba siya? Parang may difference ba to in using like if you use a gentle cleanser for the face and for the body for babies, for adults, may difference ba siya? So let's start naman with Dr. Gaile.
Sige, sagutin ko yung sa adults. Actually, ako, whatever you can use on your face, you can definitely use on your body. Kasi nga, the skin on the face is thinner, it's more sensitive, more prone to irritation. So definitely, kung ano yung pwede mo gamitin sa face, pwede ba yun sa body. The other way around, maybe not all the time. Like for example, na-mention mo, di ba, nag-graduate ka na. Because usually, pag mga teenagers, andyan na yung mga yung hormones nila, na-activate na yung mga apocrine glands, medyo nagkakaroon na ng ibang amoy pag napapawisan. And in those cases, I sometimes recommend antibacterial bar cleansers. So, yun yung mga parang they have to focus on their toe webs, axilla, and groin, just to, limit the number of bacteria there para they don't combine with sweat and they don't, emit a smell. Pero, pwede mo naman gamitin, for example, ikaw, medyo naging old ka na, hindi ka na masyado pinagpapawisan, pwede mo naman gamitin yung cleansers mo for your face on your body. Kaya lang, sometimes, cost can be a factor. Kasi we all know that products on the skin tend to cost a little bit more compared to those that are meant for the body because of the other added ingredients like your emollients, your antioxidants, etc. But in terms of being able to use them on both areas, ako, tingin ko basta pwede sa face, pwede sa body.
Alright. How about Dr. Crystal?
Same din actually with Dr. Gaile, especially diba kids, mas sensitive din talaga yung skin nila. So mas tipid, usually since maliit lang din naman yung surface at yung mas maliit yung lalagyan mo ng skin product. So usually whatever, if pwede na siya sa face, you can test first the area, especially mga cheeks, diba yung malalaking cheeks sila, usually yung nagda-dry. If pwede siya dun sa small area na yan, then you can use it also with the rest of the body.
I see. Okay, so mostly ano siya, more of like cost, ano siya na, it's a thing with cost or if ano. Pero naisip ko rin kasi, what I was thinking was, kung meron na lang akong gentle cleanser, so kung bumili na lang ako ng isang malaking gentle cleanser, baka parang, alam mo yun, parang baka di ko na kailangan bumili ng sabon. Pero ano, siguro, pero na-mention din nga kasi ni Dr. Gail, yung mga, like the armpits and the groin, baka medyo kailangan pa rin kasi, ano naman, parang, when those areas are really, tama ba Dr. Gail? Parang, mas breeding ground siya for bacteria, no?
Yes, kasi meron tayong mga specialized sweat glands in certain areas of the body like underarms, and yung natanong na ako niyan before, yung bakit daw may amoy yung underarms ng anak niya, ganyan. Kasi the smell comes from bacteria interacting with sweat. So we all have friendly bacteria in our body that live in harmony with us. Kaya lang, given certain conditions, they proliferate and then they can cause undesirable effects. Isa na yun yung body odor. So, yun yung, kaya yung mga, di ba, pag mga medyo teenager and yung hormones nila raging and then pawisin, gano'n. Medyo may mga, ano sila, may mga scent. Scent talaga eh.
Ayan, okay. Actually, ayun, ang nakuha ko nga actually from Dr. Gail is, feeling ko ang gagawin ko na ngayon is gentle cleanser for um, my face and ano, siguro for my chest and my back kasi medyo nagkaka-acne din ako doon. And then siguro gagamit ako ng soap for my ano, for the underarms and the groin. So nakakatuwa kasi parang ano no, parang ang individualized ng skincare. Kung ganun, parang, syempre may ibang tao parang medyo wapakels na lang sila. Oh, just use one entire thing. Pero pag sa mga arte like me, ganun, may mga iba-ibang mga nuances, kumbaga. I think that's our word of the day, nuances.
Pero
So, ayun
Jan, you
lang.
know what?
Yes.
Jan, I want to point out that's very important what you said. It's really very individualized. Alam mo yung parang, ano talaga siya, kasi iba-iba tayo ng preferences, iba-iba tayo ng habits, iba-iba tayo ng exposure. So, wala talagang dekahon na parang management or treatment that fits everyone. Alam mo yun? Like for example ako, I only use, honestly, di ba natanong mo, I really only use one cleanser for my face and body. So talaga nakaka-relate ako. Eh, hindi naman ako pawisin. Kahit na ilagay mo, ngayon, tamo, wala naman ako electric fan, hindi ako pinagpapawisan. So it really depends on you as an individual, your practices, your habits, your lifestyle, and dun natin ita-tailor fit yung mga gagamitin mo, yung mga skincare products that you will use, etc.
Ayan, okay. Ganda nga, ang ano nga no, skincare is very individualized and lalong-lalo na for ano, especially, I think, especially for children because yun nga, as we have ano yung word, emphasized throughout this live and throughout Dr. Crystal's answers, ano nga, hindi pa as developed yung skin barrier ng mga children, so we have to also like take care of it. So, ayun. Actually, ang dami na nating general, yung mga prepared questions natin, dami nating nasagot. So, thank you, Dr. Gail and Dr. Crystal, for that. So, now I think we can move on to the viewers' questions. Actually, madaming tinanong yung mga viewers sa atin. But before we proceed with the viewers' questions, I just want to remind again, share ko lang na itong Oxecure PH 5.5 Gentle Cleanser, yung pinag-uusapan natin for almost for the entirety of this live, available to at Watsons and SM Beauty branches nationwide and online at watsons.com.ph. So 359 pesos siya for 200 ml. This is the one I have right now. Pero kung gusto niya, kung sabi nga natin ba, skincare is very individualized. If you want to use if you're like Dr. Gail and you want to use a gentle cleanser for your entire body, meron siyang 500 ml for 759 pesos. So pwedeng kayo ginagamit nyo sa entire body nyo or gusto nyo share, if you're a mother, gusto nyo share kayo ni baby, you can get the 500 ml as well for 759 pesos. So ayan, all in one na siya. So Oxecure will also be giving out a voucher code that you can use at watsons.com.ph and at all Watsons stores. Para mabili mo yung Oxecure PH 5.5 Gentle Cleanser at a discount. So make sure you watch until then to find out how you can get the voucher and join our special giveaway. So ayan na. We're done with the reminders. Let us move on to the questions na nakuha natin sa live. So let us start with, since yung last na sumagot is, actually question number 2 to, pero para naman maano natin kay Dr. Cristal, let's ask this one. Okay, so for Dr. Cristal, my daughter po simula magka-menstruation, nagkaroon na po siya ng bump sa mukha. Ano na po mare-recommend nyong sa kanya? So, I guess the next steps na pwedeng gawin. So, yes, Dr. Cristal?
Ayan. So, thank you for the question, no? So, usually, based from the question and that, medyo may mga nakuha na tayong information, di ba? So, yung daughter niya, nagka-menstruation, meaning, going into puberty na, and ang pinaka matataas talaga na hormone levels usually is during that time, kapag bata, no? So, pag nag-start na tayo mag-menstruate, mga girls, usually nag-start ng puberty and nagkakaroon na din talaga ng mga hormonal changes. So, yung mga sinabi ni Doktora kanina, kapag baby, usually you can use the rest, one product for the rest of the body. Kapag medyo nag-start na yan maging teenager, laging nagiging concern din ng mga parents na friends ko, pati mga patients na nagkaka-certain smell na, yan, nagkaka-bumps na sa face, hindi na ganun ka-smooth. So, depende rin kasi sa anong bumps yung sinasabi niya. I think it might be either parang nagsastart siyang pimple or pwedeng hindi rin ganun ka linis na rin yung skin niya. Hindi, kasi usually kapag teenagers din, hindi na rin sila ganun. Parang they're in charge of their own hygiene already, hindi na ganun ka yung parents sa kanila. Minsan, hindi na rin nakakapag-cleanse ng maayos. Or minsan, kapag nagsistart na, mga teenagers, nagsistart na mag-makeup, minsan nakakatulog with their makeup on. So, we can't really know for sure what kind of bumps are you talking about. So, best to see your pediatrician or a dermatologist about it. Pero with regards to that, yun yung mga usually iti-take caution natin pag nagsistart ng minsan kahit 10 pa lang di ba? Parang kala mo hindi pa siya teenager. Pero usually it really starts at 10. 10 onwards, ayan, medyo magiging mas dry na, mas magiging oily na rin yung skin, tapos may certain smell na rin. Not just sa face area, pati din syempre kapag nagme-menstruate na, diba? So, yung blood natin sa groin area, mas din siya, mas moist din yung area na yun. So, minsan nagkakaroon ng certain smell. So, number 1, hygiene din is important. Plus, if may mga nagkakaroon na ng bumps nga, ganyan, you can consult your pediatrician or your dermatologist.
Alright. So, ano nga nang sinabi ni Dr. Cristal, ang ganda because when it comes to these issues, ayun nga, parang it's hard to determine with just, with just Q&A, with just, parang chat lang na question. So, there's a lot of possibilities as to what it might be. Pero may mga pinoint out din si Dr. Cristal na it could be hygiene because hindi na masyadong tutok. There's a lot of factors. And so I think it's very important na it's very important na in-emphasize ni Dr. Cristal yung consulting with a dermatologist and a pediatrician para matingnan talaga nila ng mabuti. And especially ngayon, people think na sa lang yung parang face-to-face lang pwede ngayon. But they're actually, di ba, Dr. Cristal and Dr. Gaile, meron na ngayong teledermatology and I'm not sure ano tawag
Teleconsult. Normal lang. Teleconsultation.
Kinonek ko pa dun sa Pero yes, teleconsult. Ayun. So, teleconsult.
Doon din papasok yung sabi ni Dr. Gaile kanina, di ba? Individualized kasi siya talaga. So, very common sa mga pag nag-Q&A sessions kami ni Dr. Gaile. We try to answer as general as possible so people can at least makakuha sila ng konting advice. Pero pag talagang kailangan na ng more in-depth, I think mas it would be disservice din sa kanila if we'll just answer tapos hindi naman pala yun yung concern talaga nila. So, individualized healthcare talaga pa rin siya.
Yes, super agree. So, as a ano to everyone in this chat, more of the ang magiging input ni Dr. Gail and Dr. Crystal ngayon is more of ano, very parang mga general reasons and causes para ano kayo rin ma-weigh out nyo what it might be. But ultimately, ano talaga, very individualized ang mga issues. So, ayan. Next question is for Dr. Gail. Our viewer says, hello po. Any, hello po. Any recommendations po para sa kagaya ko na may sensitive skin? Ito, dry and oily pa. So I'm assuming, so hindi na naman natin maano to, pero I'm assuming this has something
Combination.
to, yes, actually
Oo.
doc, naisip ko rin baka dehydrated yung skin. Parang oily siya regularly,
Mm.
pero na, ano. So yes, any advice or recommendations, Doc Gail?
Pero alam mo totoo yan Jan, kasi ako sometimes I experience that din. Para I'm oily on the T-zone where mas maraming sebaceous glands and then I'm dry on the cheeks. May mga ganyan talaga eh. So, ang ma-recommend ko sa'yo is number one, to have a proper cleansing, ano ba tawag doon, practice or protocol. So, use gentle cleansers that don't strip away your skincare barrier protection. Number two is to moisturize or to apply emollients to repair, restore, and replenish your skin barrier protection. To exfoliate, siguro kung may sensitive skin ka, na combination dry and oily, maybe mga once a week or once every 2 weeks. Sa exfoliation kasi helps in removing dead skin cells, debris, na parang minsan nag-accumulate sa skin mo and can cause it to be dull, to be irritated, and can sometimes lead to breakout. And then, third is proper photo protection. So, yun lang, apat lang siya. Proper cleansing, exfoliation, moisturization, and photo protection. So, yun yung advice ko.
Ayan. So, actually, a lot of people think ang ano ng ang confusing ng skincare. When people think skincare, parang syempre na sumikat na yung ano, mga 10-step Korean routines. But I think what people tend to forget and what's I feel like ano siya, in skincare ngayon medyo mas napupush na siya na skincare doesn't have to be complicated. Yung sabi nga ni Doc Gail, proper cleansing, exfoliation, yung photo protection, ayun, those are very, very important and key parts to um, everyone's skincare routine. And sometimes it's all people need. Actually, things as simple as sunscreen, hindi, di ba, parang nahihirapan tayong i-follow pa siya. But it's actually the pinaka-vital when it comes to ano. So, ayan. Thank you for that, Dr. Gail. Next question goes to Dr. Crystal. Hi, Doc. Can certain foods cause sensitivity or rash? Is there a way to tell if a rash is dangerous?
Okay, actually, ang ganda nung tanong na to kasi may konting mythbusters tayong masasabi din, no? So, usually, if they say that certain foods can cause skin sensitivity, yan yung mga usual na malalansa daw na pagkain. So, di ba, kapag kumain daw ng malansa, like isda or seafood, nagkaka-allergy sila. And then for some naman, they don't let their children eat chicken or egg kasi magkaka-chicken skin daw. Okay? So usually yung chicken skin na yon, that's keratosis pilaris. I'm sure maraming ganyang patient si Dr. Gail, no? But it's not really caused by the chicken. Okay? Kawawa naman yung chicken na pati siya nadali. No? Mukha lang kasi siyang chicken skin din. So akala nila it's caused by that. Okay? And then yung sa malalansa naman na pagkain, for some, meron talaga nagkakaroon ng seafood allergy, especially if they have a history or family history of atopy. So, anong ibig sabihin ng atopy? Atopy is yung tatlong sakit na asthma, allergic rhinitis, and eczema or atopic dermatitis. So, for some, then, mas may, ano talaga sila, may known seafood allergy talaga sila. And minsan, hindi siya lahat ng seafood. Minsan yung may mga covers lang like crabs or minsan okay siya sa crab tapos minsan okay naman siya sa shrimp or okay siya hindi siya okay sa crab pero okay naman siya sa fish, 'di ba? So minsan hindi siya sobrang general na kapag bawal ka na sa seafood, bawal ka na sa lahat. How we can really know for sure which one, yun nga sinasabi natin, individualized healthcare din siya. So, pag talagang nagkakaroon siya ng certain flare-ups for certain kind of food, so how will we know this? If we don't let them eat it, tapos hindi natin manonotice kung ano yung reaction niya, we won't really know which one, di ba? So, kapag mga baby pa lang, mga 6 months to 1 year old, you can give a little bit of the highly allergenic foods. Okay, so of course, you have to talk to your pediatrician about this, no? So, pero pag may known history ka na, you can give a little bit of this highly allergenic foods even as early as 4 months pa nga yung iba. And then you can see yung reaction sa katawan. And then if you can really see na nagkaka-flare-ups, ganyan, then you can go to your allergologist. Pwedeng may mga testing silang gagawin dyan, okay? But and then, second question niya, is there a way to tell if a rash is dangerous? Okay, so medyo mahirap din na kind of question to answer kasi may mga rash na may kasamang fever. Okay? So if it's fever with rash, it's an infectious rash, it's dangerous in a way kasi pwede siyang, number one, makahawa sa bata, and number two, pwede rin siyang makahawa sa buntis, tapos magkaka-problem dun sa kinikerry na baby ng buntis. Okay? So that's one thing na pwedeng i-take note of. But there are rashes naman na non-infectious. And usually, nagiging parang dangerous siya pag mas naging infected na siya. So, how do we know if it's infected? Usually, it's very red, it's swollen, so medyo maga, tapos masakit. Kung hindi siya nakakapagsabi ng masakit, parang very, very fussy siya, ayaw niyang pahawak yung part na yon, or nagkakaroon din ng pus. So, yun yung mga signs na makikita natin if that rash is becoming infected.
I see. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Crystal. Actually, ako rin nagka-experience ako with actually na myth bust yung nasa ko kasi growing up, share ko lang super short lang to. May brothers kasi have seafood allergy. So, I guess it kind of ano tawag doon, may nagka-factor siya in my parents sa parang kapag may rash ka, wag ka kumain ng malansa. Eh, 'di ba seafood malansa ganun. So, pero thankful ako na wala naman akong seafood allergy. Bakit kasi kinikwento ko talaga siya. But anyway, ayun lang. Thank you, Dr. Crystal, for that question. So, we have another question naman for Dr. Gaile. So, as someone who has sensitive skin, how many times in a week, ang question to, should we exfoliate our skin?
Okay, ayan. Bago ko sagutin yan, alam mo, nakaka-relate ako dun sa kwento ni Dr. Crystal. Kasi ako, bilang bata, pinagbawalan akong kainin lahat ng gusto ko kasi sabi nila, yun daw yung dahilan ng allergies ko. So, pinagbawalan ako mag-chocolate, pinagbawalan ako mag-canned goods. Yung chicken na sobrang favorite ko, bawal. But yun na nga, swerte ng mga kabataan ngayon dahil na-debunk na yung myth na yan. But anyway, also to add to that, food allergies are more common in children. Usually in adults, unless talaga allergic ka na, hindi na siya masyadong common. Anyway, to answer your question, how many times should you exfoliate your skin if you have sensitive skin? I would recommend once a week or once every 2 weeks. So yung exfoliation kasi, the reason for doing that is because when you're young, like yung mga babies natin na sobrang flawless yung skin, they change their skin every 20 days. Kaya di ba pag tingnan mo yung anak mo or pamangkin mo na bata, parang wow, flawless, walang pores. But as you get older, it becomes longer. So sabi nila, until the age of mga mid to late 20s, you change skin once a month. But as you get older, it becomes slower and less efficient. And that's where exfoliation comes in. Exfoliation will aid your skin in making new ones para mas maganda siya. So, hindi naman siya kailangan palagi. So, like ako, for example, hindi naman ako sensitive skin. I have dry to combination. I usually exfoliate mga twice a month or even once a month using yung mga higher concentration acids. But if you're just using the home exfoliation, peeling pads, mga ganyan, you can probably do it once a week or once every 2 weeks. If you are using a low concentration exfoliating toner, yung mga 5% glycolic or 2% salicylic, pwede siya actually every day. So, it depends on what kind of exfoliant you're using. But with sensitive skin, definitely less than what is recommended.
Ayan. Thank you for that, Dr. Gaile. Actually, this is a question I also get a lot sa mga videos ko. How often should exfoliation be? And a lot are actually shocked na iniisip nila, oh my God, ilang times a week lang pala kailangan. Kasi I think ngayon yung trend sa skincare is parang everyone's exfoliating. May alam ko pa nga ako, Dr. Gaile, oh my God, they exfoliate 2 times a day. Naloka talaga ako. Pero I'm just hoping it's a
Nakakaloka
low, di ba? I'm just hoping low concentration siya para hindi naman masyadong So, ayun. Ang dami ko pang horror stories actually. Like, basta naglagay siya ng exfoliant, tapos dinerma rolling niya. Oh my God, nakaka-cringe. Pero for another, pero for those who have sensitive skin, please do not follow that. Oh my God, nakikita ko yun lagi sa TikTok. Anyway, our next question goes to, since we've been talking about exfoliants are ingredients, this next question is for Dr. Crystal. So, ano pong ingredients ang dapat iniiwasan for baby? So, yan.
Okay, yan. Thank you for that question. Medyo mahirap sagutin exactly which lists kasi sometimes, di ba tayong mga adults sa skin natin, parang ako talaga, guilty ako dyan. I spend a lot of time sa Watson. Iiwanan na ako ng asawa ko dyan just to look at mga skincare products. So, paano pa kaya pag baby? Sobrang masistress na yung mom. So, I think rather than looking at yung ingredients na dapat iwasan, kasi number one, it wouldn't really also be in the market kapag very harmful na siya sa baby kasi they test it pa nga sa healthy adults, di ba? So, paano pag sa baby? So, usually, we just look at products na, syempre, number one, yung trusted mo din and nakalagay dermatologically tested, or usually, parang may term na lagi sinasabi, di ba? Hypoallergenic, yung parang medyo for mild lang talaga, just for babies. Yung iba naman yung mga fragrance, diba usually, sinasabi na fragrance-free, better for babies. Fragrance naman kasi it's parang it has a long history of safety naman. But usually if it's like in high concentrations, talagang sobrang amoy na amoy mo na umaabot hanggang ilong, 'di ba? Or sobrang infrequency of use. Sometimes it's a sensitizer and sometimes naging respiratory irritants din siya. So especially for mga less than 1 mga babies, yan better if medyo may fragrance free din talaga. Tapos yun, mild, gentle cleanser. So rather than focusing on the per ingredient, parang look for products na lang din na trusted din sa market.
I see. Thank you for that, Dr. Crystal. Actually, there's this concept also that I hear a lot in the skincare siguro just relating it kasi maganda yung sinabi ni Dr. Crystal na it shouldn't just be tigi sa isang ingredient na per ingredient tinignan mo, ito masama to. Like, because there are ingredients that parang pag generalize mo, parang it seems like it's bad for your skin. Pero okay lang pala siya. I just want to give an example right off the bat. From the top of my head. Basta parang ganun yung idiom na yan. So, just an example that I thought of is cetearyl alcohol, which I see a lot in mga moisturizers, especially gentle moisturizers as well for babies. And people tend to think na, cetearyl alcohol, it's alcohol, and alcohol is bad, it's drying. When people don't really understand na, cetearyl alcohol pala is a waxy alcohol na it's used as a moisturizer pala talaga. So, ang ganda nga na sinabi ng Dr. Crystal na we shouldn't look just ingredient per ingredient. I think, ako personally, I think na it's the entire formulation. But also, I think it matters also yung sinabi ni Dr. Crystal na if a dermatologist has recommended it to kay baby na parang, you can try this one, then it could be kasi na ni dermatologist yung product. So yun, thank you for that, Dr. Crystal. So we have meron pa ba tayong? Yes, meron tayong isang question for Dr. Gaile. So this one is actually, oh my God, na ako sa question na to. I think this is a really good question. People with sensitive skin often complain about sun damage. Can you shed some light on this?
Okay. So, di ba, those with sensitive skin have a defective barrier protection. Apart from protecting us against, harmful environmental irritants, chemicals, our skin is also a very efficient protector against UV radiation or the sun. So, especially dun sa mga medyo dark yung complexion or those who have a lot of melanin. Melanin talaga is our number one, kumbaga, defense against UV radiation. Kaya nga pag nagbibilad tayo sa araw, umiitim tayo, di ba? Because pag nasa-sense na ng body natin, oh no, UV radiation, gagawa na siya ng maraming melanin to protect our skin. So, kaya tayo nagda-darken. So, Yung question niya is, people with sensitive skin often complain about sun damage. Yun nga, kasi defective nga siya. And apart from that, it's like a vicious cycle. So the more sun damage you get, the more dry your skin becomes, and the more compromised it becomes pa din. So parang palala siya ng palala, palala siya ng palala. So yung pinaka-solution talaga dyan is to reinforce, repair, and strengthen your skin barrier, and to practice good photoprotection, not only with sunscreens, but also with wearing protective clothing, seeking shade, avoiding sun exposure between 11 to 2, yung mga ganon. So, marami naman. And you're right, also because UV radiation causes DNA damage. So, hindi lang sensitive skin yung magiging problema mo. Wrinkles, pigmentation, aging, etc.
I see. Actually, ang ano nga nun, parang it's such a big like we mentioned nga a while ago na very ano talaga ang it's one of the most basic things that we can do to protect our skin talaga is to wear sunscreen. Now this is out of the Q&A sa comments, but I also wanted to ask this also kay Dr. Gail and kay Dr. Cristal. Ano lang, if you can indulge me kasi may mga nakakuha ako ng ganitong questions eh. And I never know what to answer. So, ang babies kasi, actually, hindi, rephrase ko yung question. So, at what age can children or babies start wearing sunscreen? Kasi merong mga babies na alam ko kapag bagong panganak pa lang, bawal pa sila ilabas. So it's easier to keep them inside, in the shade, or pwedeng magsuot pa ng UV protective clothing. So when is it like pwede na parang okay, baby, or kapag bata na parang bibigyan mo na siya ng sunscreen? Like at what age could be the best to like start? And like also dahil sa mga kids din, 'di ba, parang you can instill some habits in them na parang sunscreen, this is like you do this every day, parang toothbrushing na parang it's an everyday thing. So at what age is it best?
Ayan. Usually pag mga newborn, 'di ba, especially if talagang kakapanganak lang, usually sinasabi exposed to sunlight, 'di ba? Kasi kapag para daw hindi mag-jaundice or manilaw yung balat. Actually, but exposed to sunlight is really at the specific time, yung sabi nga ni Dr. Gail, no? So very, very early in the morning din yan. Because children less than 6 months, yan, hindi rin kasi natin talaga sila mapapag-sunscreen. So, best na, aside from photoprotective factors nga na sunscreen, yung mga ibang sinabi na Dr. Gail, yun na lang yung best na gawin natin. So, yeah, kapag nagbe-beach yan, especially may mga babies, kailangan mga nakahat yan or under a shade. So, wag naman din doon sa sobrang init na lahat. Pag yung adults nga init na pa, 'di ba? Paano pa yung mga babies? And usually kasi mga products na mga ganito, hindi rin sila nire-recommend pa kapag less than 6 months. So, depende rin sa kind of sunscreen, 'di ba? Or depende rin sa, kasi minsan may mga sunscreen na for adults na lang talaga siya, especially yung iba, masyadong marami din yung fragrance. So, best then if to consult also your pediatrician regarding this. Kumbaga parang may parang ano tawag dito, clearance ka from the doctor na yung pala sobrang hindi pala pwede sa baby mo yung ganitong certain sunscreen, di ba?
I would have to agree with Dr. Cristal. Kasi ako din parang palagi akong 6 months because most products naman are not tested in babies, di ba? So palagi ko sinasabi, tanong mo yung pediatrician mo kung okay lang sa'yo to. But definitely, yung sunscreens made for adults, sometimes kasi may mga added yan may vitamins, vitamin A, E, or kung ano-ano mga antioxidants, gano'n na parang sometimes hindi mo rin alam kung magre-react ba yung skin ng baby or not. So, I always say, ako yung sa akin 6 months and above, and then consult your pediatrician. Yun yung lagi kong sinasabi sa patients ko pag, di ba, yung mga anak nila dinadala nila sa beach. But to add to that, you mentioned it, Jan, earlier, na parang it's very important to instill in your children. Kasi ako, sorry, ako medyo malalaki na yung kids ko, 6 and 7. So, alam na nila, pag mag-swimming kami, alam na nila to apply. Sila, Mommy, I don't have sunscreen, mga ganun. So, it's something that you should try to instill in your kids. Kasi, noong time namin hindi naman parang kahit 10 oras ka na nagsiswimming, paglabas mo, ang dami mo lang bathing suit marks, parang okay lang But, diba, parang now, I think it's important, especially because iba na yung environment natin ngayon So, Yeah, 6 months.
Ayan. So, 6 months is the answer. Actually, 6 months and then kapag patak na ng patak talaga, pag abot ng 6 months, consult a pediatrician if okay sa kanila. But for the time being, I think it was suggested na yung clothing na lang, like UV protective clothing, since there's such thing naman, or just keeping in shape in general. So, ayan, I think we were able to answer all the questions. Ayan, and I think that's all the time we have for the questions. Thank you everyone for sending in your questions, and super thank you for the informative Q&A, Dr. Gail and Dr. Cristal. Grabe. So ano na lang, since meron tayong audio problem, okay lang ba Dr. Cristal and Dr. Gail? Ako na lang mag-plug ng socials. Okay, so start natin with Dr. Gaile Robredo-Vitas. You can find her on YouTube. She shares as in super, oh my God, sobrang nanonood ako every week. She releases expert advice on skincare on YouTube, and then on Instagram, you can find her at Irene Gale. She's on Instagram. And si Dr. Cristal naman, she's on Twitter and Instagram, and her handle is at millennialpedia. So ayan, thank you so much again, Dr. Gail and Dr. Crystal. I hope you guys had fun. um Ayan, okay naman ba kayo? Did you guys have fun?
Yes, yes, super. Tinawid natin.
Yes.
True.
Thank
We
you.
made
Thank
it.
you,
We
everyone.
made it. Ayan. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Gail and Dr. Crystal. So ayan. Um I just want to remind everyone, if you want to try Oxecure's new face and body cleanser, this is the pH 5.5% the pH 5.5 gentle cleanser. It's already available at selected Watsons stores nationwide. You can also shop via watsons.com.ph or with the Watsons mobile app. You can also use the Watsons call and delivery service at select stores at watsons.com.ph. Nandun na lahat ng information. And as promised, guys, sa mga nagstay until the end of the live, this is it. This is really is it. Charot. Here is the voucher code. So again, the regular price for this is at 359 pesos for 200 ml and 759 pesos for 500 ml. So yun yung regular price nila, but you can use this voucher code OXSensitive10 at watsons.com.ph or on the Watsons mobile app, so you can get 10% off when you buy this pH 5.5 gentle cleanser. So this one is valid until June 11. Pero guys, kunyari wala kayong wifi sa bahay, hindi nyo ma-avail, don't worry, because Oxecure and Watsons has got your back. As in, if you want to go and buy it at a Watsons branch, you can still use the same code. So ang gawin nyo is, picturean nyo to or screenshot nyo yung barcode and present it at any Watsons branch, as in person, to get 10% off on your Oxecure PH 5.5 cleanser. So I think isa-scan nila, kasi barcode to so isa-scan nila yan sa actual Watsons branch. So this one is also valid until June 11. So both sila, whether you get it online or in person, is valid until June 11. Also, I'm sure you're all wondering who won our surprise giveaway today. But first of all, before natin i-announce, I just want to thank everyone who commented their questions. At super good, ang ganda ng mga questions na tinanong ninyo, as in. Those were all the questions I was asking Dr. Gil and Dr. Crystal in my head. So yon. And speaking of Dr. Gil and Dr. Crystal, thank you so much again to them for being able to help us with our concerns. All right. So ready na ba kayo? Ready na ba kayo? We are going to announce our winners. So the 3 winners of our giveaway are me, Dr. Crystal, and Dr. Gail. Charot! Hindi, joke lang. So, the winners of our giveaway are, number 1, let us start with, hindi ko sure kung paano i-pronounce yung name na to, but I think it's Yeigne, Yeigne, Evangelista. Congratulations, you are our first winner. And second winner natin is Ann Cab. So that's ANN space CAB. Ann Cab, congratulations. And our last winner is Remedios de Leon. So, again, repeat ko lang yung mga ano ng winners ha. Si Miss Yane, I'm sorry if mali yung pronunciation. Yane Evangelista, Miss Ann Cab, and Remedios de Leon. So congratulations to you three. You each won one 500 ml bottle of Oxecure PH 5.5 Gentle Cleanser. Actually, hindi pala ito yon kasi 200 ml to. So mas malaki pa yung makukuha ninyo. So winners, please message, sorry, nabulol. Please message Oxecure's official Facebook page with your name, contact number, and complete address. Pero sa mga hindi nanalo, don't worry because, surprise, Oxecure actually has another giveaway for you guys. Nakakaloka. So, you'll get the chance to win another 500 ml bottle of the Oxecure PH 5.5 Gentle Cleanser. So, makinig na kayo, okay? Screen record nyo na to. Ito yung instructions. Or screenshot pala kasi meron tayong flinash sa screen. So all you have to do is to follow Oxecure on Instagram at oxecure.ph. Nakita nyo siya sa screen ngayon. And tag 2 friends in the Power of 5 post. May kita nyo siya dun sa latest post ng Oxecure PH account. And then, yun, magtag lang kayo ng 2 friends and you get a chance to win the cleanser. So, ayun na siya. So, from there, we'll be choosing 3 winners of a 500 ml Oxecure PH 5.5 cleanser. So, make sure, guys, na fina-follow nyo yung oxecure.ph kasi i-check yan. So, you have to be following the account, okay? Kasi, di ba, parang, syempre, sumali na kayo sa giveaway, i-follow nyo na rin sila, di ba? And also, the benefit of that is kasi, i-announce din nila sa Instagram yung winners. So on June 12, they'll be announcing their winners via Instagram stories. So be sure to follow para updated kayo. I-turn on nyo na rin kasi may feature yun sa Instagram. Turn on the notifications para alam nyo kapag nag-post ng stories sa Instagram, you can check, ito na ba yung winners? So yun. So that's all for the time that we have for today's live episode. So if you want to learn more about the Oxecure PH 5.5 Gentle Cleanser, you can always follow them again at oxecure.ph on Facebook, Instagram, even TikTok. Pero sa TikTok, oxecure_ph sila. Hindi, sorry, same pala. Oxecure.ph on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Pero oxecure_ph sila on Twitter. So again, thank you so much for joining us, guys. Make sure you catch our second episode on July 3, same time, 12 noon. So ayan, bye everyone, and I hope you have an amazing Saturday.